Hey, my name is Barbie Armenta. I'm a wife, mother, life coach, and founder of Brave One. Everyone has a story, and I believe that you can be inspired in your own life by hearing another woman's courageous story. We're here to talk about purpose, identity, divorce, splitting families. If you're talking about it, I want to talk about it. We are here to have brave conversations. Well, it's been exactly 1 year since I wrapped season 1 of Brave Conversations. I did not intend for it to take this long. I loved doing this podcast and I had every intention of continuing. But 2022 did not end the way that I expected. If you're new here, hi, I'm Barbie, and this is my mini series about my midlife gap year. And I am so glad that you're here. When we wrapped, I was coming off of some big milestones in my business. I had rebranded Brave One. I was working with a social media manager to up-level my online brand. And we had just had an incredible dream come true of hosting my annual women's event, the Brave Gathering, at the historic Ridgely Theater in Fort Worth, Texas. And let's not forget, we had done 12 episodes with some of the most amazing women on this podcast. But by December, the truth is, I was out of money and I was wondering what was next. I felt like I was doing everything that God wanted me to do, but He did not do what I expected Him to do. Have you ever done something expecting a certain result from God? God's ways are not our ways, and He will always have His best for us, but it can still feel disappointing nonetheless. I was discouraged and wondering what was next. About mid-December, I woke up to an email from Facebook. It said that there had been an unusual login from Austin, Texas, and if this was me, do nothing. Well, it was 2 a.m. and I was asleep and I did nothing. So I don't know what happened between 2 a.m. and 7 a.m., but my Facebook and Instagram accounts were shut down permanently. I tried everything to get them back, but I lost everything. All of my personal photos back to 2008, mine and my husband's whole relationship, and also all the content my social media manager worked on and 6 years of my own work was gone in an instant. I felt like I was out of business and that I had lost all my credibility. So now what? I was asking God, is this over or is this just redirection? In January, I felt like God told me to go back to my roots and go deeper. I began walking back through 20 years of journals and notes from classes and sermons and books that I had read, just allowing reminders from the past to give me fresh revelation for the future. One thing was consistent. God was always good. No matter how life looked, God always showed up. Everything wasn't lost. No social media, and I gained 2 new clients and 5 speaking opportunities. God didn't need my help or Facebook. God was just redirecting. All was not lost, and God was still moving. So let's call it a gap year. Maybe a midlife gap year. Is that a thing? I think it's a thing. When someone takes a gap year before college, the purpose is for independent growth, getting out of your comfort zone, preparing for the future. It's a time to reset, recharge, and reimagine. It's not a year off, it's a year on. Have you ever spent a year just investing in you? God had so much to say to me about this. What if midlife was not a time to slow down? What if there is so much more and you were just going to drift on by? Let me tell you, you will never drift to a place that you would choose. But being brave is hard. It's a journey. Listening, stepping, rerouting. God has been giving me the space and the lessons to usher in a new season of life, revisiting where I had been, going back to my roots. Being in the moment when I'm usually focused on the future. I'm a big dreamer. I can look miles ahead, but being in the moment can be hard. But He was giving me a fresh vision to aim for. Do you know that a study shows that if you commit 3 hours a week to something new, you will be in the top 5%, because most people just don't want to change or do new things. But that's not you. Spend a year of reflection, being versus doing and striving. I was discovering who I am in this midlife, going back to my roots and going deeper. 20 years of where I was. So let's talk more about that next week. I can't wait to see you then. Thanks for joining me for today's conversation. If this resonated with you, please save this podcast to your playlist and share it with your friends. If there's a conversation that you want to hear, make sure and reach out at braveone.net and send a topic request. Until our next episode, remember to put your brave on.